Welcome back. Do remember, all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Log on to m.channelstv.com to see us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. Besides the news and updates, the Channels TV app has an eyewitness feature. We encourage you to use it to share those pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the eyewitness menu and follow the instructions. And speaking of photos you sent into our portal, today we begin with this photo showing the aftermath of heavy rainfall in the Ikotun area of Lagos State. Now, which we'll show you shortly. When you see it, eyewitness reporter calls on the local council authorities to fix it. We'll get to those pictures as soon as we have them. Now, any traditional ruler found to be using his title to pursue partisan politics will be weeded out of the system. This warning was handed down by the River State Governor, Nyesom Wike, at the 104th quarterly meeting of the Traditional Council of First, Second, and Third Class Chiefs at the Council Secretariat in Port Harcourt, River State. The governor also charged the traditional rulers to ensure that the security of their various communities does not degenerate under their watch.
Is the 104th quarterly meeting of the River State Traditional Council at the State Secretariat in Port Harcourt, River State. In attendance is the State Governor Nyesom Wike, government officials, and a full complement of the traditional stool in the state. Top on the agenda for discussion are issues relating to the peace and security of their communities. The king of Opobo Kingdom and head of the traditional stool, Dandinsin Jaja, comments the amnesty program of the government, saying it's yielding results.
We are satisfied that you and your government are tackling the menace with characteristic doggedness. Apart from equipping the police and other security agencies, you have unilaterally declared amnesty for all groups bearing arms in the state who are willing to denounce violence and surrender their weapons to government.
The governor, however, solicits more support from the traditional rulers in ensuring better security in their communities.
You must secure their kingdoms by educating your subjects to always explore peaceful ways of settling disputes rather than resorting to self-help at the slightest provocation. Related to this is the continuing menace of cultism and related criminal behavior in some of our communities and neighborhoods. You know, most of these misguided youths terrorizing the rest of society with their criminal activities as cultists and kidnappers belong to your communities.
Then the governor delves into a matter which he believes is at the heart of the peace and development of the state, the non-conclusion of the legislative polls.
What is important is that River State must be represented. It doesn't matter who represents River State. And therefore, I urge all of you to come out and speak out that this is not acceptable. We are not talking about party. We are talking about the interest of the entire state.
Elsewhere, the governor meets with traditional rulers from Ogbunabali community, where he assures them that the land reclamation exercise of government in their community is to chase away criminals and bring development to the people. Emmanuel Irrua, Channels Television News.
And to development, the Kwara State government has launched the state-owned asphalt plant to aid the renovation and construction of roads across the state. This, the government says, is part of its plan of turning the state around. Meanwhile, residents are pleading with the state government not to abandon projects halfway for the benefit of communities. We'll bring you that report on the state of the Kwara Road projects in a moment, as soon as it's ready in the course of this program. In the meantime, to the health sector, and in the South-South, health workers of the Irrua Specialist Teaching Hospital in Edo State have embarked on an indefinite strike in protest of unpaid September and October salaries, amongst other allowances. Speaking on behalf of the various unions on the facility, Dr. Fidelis Ogobo says the industrial action is the only alternative for the health workers considering the present economic realities. The chief medical director of the hospital says the downing of tools, however, by the striking staff is premature as funds from the government are already on the way.
Here's at the Irrua Specialist Teaching Hospital, Irrua, Edo State, convened for this emergency session with the various union leaders in the institution in attendance. The chairman of the Senior Staff Association, Dr. Fidelis Ogobo, is the first to speak. He underlines some of the issues on ground.
Our salary for the month of September, the month of October has not been paid. And we are not able, and we cannot continue to serve government with empty stomach.
Some other union leaders take turns in addressing the gathering.
Promotion areas, we did not get it. 2012, half was paid. 14, 15, 16 now, nothing given to us.
I pray that the federal government will give us a listening ear and do something about our budget. The budget that is deficit year in, year out. That should come to an end.
After deliberations, a decision is reached, an indefinite strike action until the outstanding wages are settled.
I declare from now henceforth, there will be a strike action in Irrua Specialist Teaching Hospital.
The pronouncement is not binding on doctors and nurses in the facility. The president of the Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Emmanuel Osagede, expresses sympathy for the striking workers.
As for doctors, the resident doctors, which is my association, we are not on industrial action yet, but that does not mean that we are not in solidarity with them to tell the federal government to bring this money to actually pay everybody. I think what they are doing is in order, because when people can no longer come to work, I don't know what you expect them to do at this condition.
Reacting to the situation, the Chief Medical Director of Irrua Specialist Teaching Hospital, Dr. Stephanos Okobeni, in a telephone conversation says the striking unionists are overreacting. He confirms the release of funds by the federal government, which will be used to clear the outstanding remunerations. The Irrua Specialist Teaching Hospital remains open to the public in spite of the industrial action embarked upon by a section of its workforce.
Also in the health sector, this time in Bayelsa State, resident doctors at the Federal Medical Center Yenagoa have also threatened to withdraw their services come November the 15th if the state government fails to pay their salary arrears. The doctors took their protests around the hospital premises, demanding their September and October salaries as well as the 48% deducted from their February to May 2016 salaries.
Resident doctors of the Federal Medical Center, Yenagoa, in a peaceful protest. They're marching to the administrative block of the hospital to let management in on the grievances. They're frustrated by the non-payment of the salaries. There's a month now.
From February till May this year, we are being owed 52% of our salaries per month. That's for 4 months. And September now, we have not been paid salary. October just finished, we have not been paid October salary. This is the only federal tertiary hospital in Bayelsa State, and it's catering for people of Bayelsa and environs. We don't want to hurriedly rush to withdrawing of services, but if by a certain point we are not paid, precisely if by 15th of November we are not paid, we are going to withdraw our services completely.
The stress is much on us.
Dr. Anebi Yemisi, like these other doctors, has been receiving only 50% of their salary since February. She says this hasn't been fun considering current economic realities.
You are working on an empty stomach. You are thinking about how you are going to feed your family, how you are going to pay rent, pay school fees, fuel your car, and that. So it's a lot of stress. You are thinking so much, you are not concentrating on your patients.
Meanwhile, the chief medical director appreciates the patience of the doctors and can only plead for more time and understanding by the aggrieved personnel.
Federal government has been doing everything possible to ensure that payments are being made. We have been paid some months are still outstanding. By the time we got to the month of September, based on what was allocated for us, it's not enough to carry, and it's not only us.
The CMD says it cannot state when the salaries will be paid. Against the backdrop of dwindling allocation from the federal government, this will no doubt make the November 15th deadline a day to look forward to.
And coming up on news across Nigeria, the Kwara State government launches a plans to aid road construction.